These thoughts up in my head. Things I never did. I took some L's, but I'm still here. I got these thoughts up in my head. I toss and turn about some things I never said. I got regrets about some things I never did. I took some risks and took some L's, but I'm still here. And I know.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Overthinking Thoughts Pod. I'm your host, Ed, and as always, journey with me as we keep our faith in a world full of chaos. It's a new month. We are approaching the halfway point. It is month 6, halfway there. I hope that any goals or anything that you were trying to accomplish, you have achieved them or are in the process of achieving them. If you haven't started, it's not too late. We still got time. So take this day as a new day to be able to branch out into what it is that you said you were going to do. Take it one step at a time. That's all we got. So as you journey with me and keep our faith, today we're going to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart, which is called panic. And by near and dear, I mean something that induced the panic, but we'll talk about that. And as always, I just thank you for joining me. Once again, hope that everything is going well. I'm just ready to jump into it. So here we go. I have a question for you about panic. Can you find peace in the midst of panic? I'm going to ask you again. Can you find peace in the midst of panic? Okay. So a couple years back, I was very stressed out about bills and jobs and money and just having a negative view on everything in my life. At the time, it was very hard on myself. I felt like I wasn't doing enough. I felt like I wasn't achieving enough. I felt like I wasn't where I wanted to be. And so throughout the whole day, actually throughout like the whole week, I was just stressed, angry, upset, mad, and just not feeling up to myself. And then later that night, I'm chilling. But like my arm was hurting, so I thought like maybe because I was carrying my son around, I was in pain or something. And it was just lingering and it wouldn't go away. It just would not go away. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm just going to try to see this through. So I'm like playing 2K, chilling, whatever. I'm up late because my mind is racing. I can't go to sleep. I'm just stressed out. And probably finally at like 2:15, 2:30, something like that, I go lay down. As I lay down, I'm quickly interrupted with this surge that I've never felt before in my life. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about like, what am I going to do if something happens? My kids, I don't have anything for my kids. What about me? And all while this worrying is happening, I can just feel all this pressure start rushing to my chest. And I'm like, this feels weird. I don't know what's going on. My mind is racing like crazy now. I'm looking around trying to figure out what's going on. My wife's asking me if I'm okay. And I'm like, I have no idea. And then immediately it just felt like this rush of adrenaline just hit my chest. And my heart is beating. It felt like it was beating out of my chest. And I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. What is happening? And so I'm panicking now because I've never experienced this before. And I just didn't know what was happening. Honestly, I'll be real. I thought I was up out of here. Like for real. Cause I had never had that experience before. And so I'm just trying to breathe and calm myself down. And then like mentally it was just like, okay, recognize what's happening. How can you take your time? Take deep breaths. And shortly after that, things started calming down. I felt more at peace. I got my heart rate to a reasonable setting, and I'm just like, what was that? It felt like it was going on forever. It's probably like 5 minutes. And so my wife's like, we should get this checked out since you don't really know what's going on. And I'm just like, I guess so. So we drive up to ER. I'm chilling, just trying to figure out what's going on. My chest is hurting. I'm tired. I'm anxious. I'm worried. All these things are going through my head. We called my mother-in-law to come over to watch the kids while we were gone. Mind you, this is like 3 something in the morning. And the whole time while I was sitting there waiting on they gave me an EKG, they trying to look at everything, and doctor was just like, look, it looks like you might have experienced a panic attack. Explained to me what that was, which I had no idea what was happening. And he's like, just try to take it easy, stay calm, get some rest tonight. When you wake up in the morning, just try to take it easy. I wouldn't recommend going to work or anything like that. It took so much out of me. And that was the first time in life where, like, I've been scared in life, but, like, that was by far the scariest moment. And I don't know, like, it put me in such a spiral. But luckily, and well, more so prayerfully, we were able to get home, hug my kids, let them know I was okay. Took it easy that next day, and then immediately followed up with my doctor and ended up meeting with a counselor therapist just to kind of figure out how to handle these things. Every emotion and every fear that I could have gone through, I went through. I was confused, I was concerned, I was scared, then I was angry, then I was anxious, then I was worried. Like, I had all these things that were happening at once, and I felt like I had no control over the situation. And so that's where it really made me start thinking that, like, we spend so much time worrying about the time that we have that we don't quite utilize it in the way of which God intended it. I'm so worried about, I don't have this for my kids, I don't have that for my kids. What if I die today, this, that, and the third? And it could have happened. And maybe it was something that God had to show me to say, you need to calm down. Because in the midst of all these things that you think you don't have, you have so much more. You have wealth because you have a family. You didn't have the 2-parent household. Your kids do. When your kids come home and they're asking, I need to talk to dad, they see me. I need to talk to mom, they see her. Can we all go do this? We can just go. I know not everybody's fortunate enough for that. I know that. It's something I always strive for. I have it. And that's something I took for granted. This whole thing about just worrying about what happens next, not realizing that I would have threw everything away by worrying about the next thing when I wasn't focused on the thing that was in front of me. And so what ended up happening was I had to calm down. I had to take it easy, and I had to trust that things were going to be okay. Ultimately, when you think about the calmness, when chaos is happening, you have to find the calm. So much is happening around you at once. And if you start looking left and right and you start getting lost in all of the chaos, then you end up putting yourself in a position of where you have completely lost control and you're going to spiral. Instead, what you want to do is center yourself. First of all, remember that you are God's child, and God tells you that he's got you covered. He does not want you to be anxious. He does not want you to worry. So calling to God and saying, I need peace, the peace that transcends all understanding. In that moment, when you're able to recognize, why am I racing? Why is all this happening? Why is this going on? I don't know what's up, but here's what I do know. God is in control. He's got the situation. I'm going to be okay. And then you can analyze around everything else that happens and know that at the end of the day, God's got it covered. And that's what happened. And if I would have just trusted in him earlier, I probably wouldn't have had this happen, but I feel like I had to go through it for a reason. And I think the reasoning was to learn about finding peace when everything else feels like it's falling into pieces. Can you find peace when everything else is falling into pieces? Can you focus on the good when everything around you feels bad? Can you stay calm in the midst of chaos? Are you able to navigate life when it seems like everything around you is broken, that everything around you isn't in the right place, that everything around you is uncontrollable? Can you still walk the straight and narrow and be calm? You can, but you have to let go of the control and allow God to guide you. You have to let go of the worry. You have to let go of the fear. You have to let go of the anxiety. You have to let go of all of the impurities that God doesn't want you to have. Lay those down at the cross and then pick up your cross and walk and follow God. And if you can do that, I think you'll find the peace that we all strive to look for. But it was definitely crazy. It was. I can't sit up here and act like it wasn't, because it's something I think about. And you know what was interesting? I'm gonna tell you what helped me with my panic attack. Or like, I've only had the one. I almost had one other one, and I remember telling my counselor about it, and she looked me dead in the face and said, "Let it happen." I said, "Why would I do that?" And she's like, "Your anxiety is trying to fight what's going to happen. But if you accept it, and you know it's gonna suck, you know it's not gonna feel pleasant, but this too shall pass." And that advice helped me so much, because I felt like I was constantly wondering, like, will it happen? Will it happen? Will it happen? And then I just was like, all right, well, I know what it's gonna do when it happens. Now I know how to react, because I was able to equip myself and do it the right way. Now, it was completely scary, but at the end of the day, I know who was in control, and I'm thankful that God had it all under his control. These are the moments where, like, when you talk about you want control of everything, no, you don't. You don't want that, especially in this position, because it was wild, and I had no clue of what was going to happen at all. But God had me, and I'm very thankful for that. Interestingly enough, I was looking up verses, and I said, what does God say about panic? He doesn't directly say anything about panic, because he doesn't want us to. But he does have things in his word that will help us in those moments where we feel like we're going through panic. One of the verses that I think is really important that I looked at was Isaiah 41:10. Isaiah 41:10 states, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Now let's break that down. In the Faith app, it breaks down all these pieces. Fear not releases our fears. I am with you. It's a promise of his constant presence. I am your God, a promise of his sovereign authority. I will strengthen you, a promise of divine empowerment. I will help you, assurance of his direct assistance, and I will uphold you, a guarantee of his sustaining power. He gives us promises in the midst of everything that we can't see, that we can't control, the fears, the worries, the anxieties. He's telling us, hey, fear not. I got it. I'm here. Let me lead you, because I am God, and I will guide you. I'm going to give you the strength to get through this. I'm going to help you understand it and then move forward with the full trust of knowing that I've been here and I've got it covered. I'm going to uphold you. So no matter what comes your way, no matter what weapon is formed, I'm there. You got my full armor. You have my protection. All you have to do is call on my name, and I got you. And this verse really lets us know that God really does have us. The fact that the first two words are fear not. The man who sacrificed his life, who died, was nailed to a cross, rose on the third day. All that happened. That guy's telling us not to fear. Could you imagine going through what he went through? You can't. It's scary to know that that's what you're walking into. And he embraced it. And he embraced it so that we could have life. Fear not. It's an amazing verse. The second verse that I would share with you is one that I have learned to memorize, and I've watched it, and I've read it over and over again, and it's something that I have to practice. 1 Peter 5:7 tells us to cast all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. God is telling us everything that makes you feel anxious, everything that's making you feel like you don't have it, or you're worried, or you're unsure, give it to me. I care about you. The Faith app, it breaks us down in two different things. The first one is casting anxiety. It means that God is inviting us to throw our worries, fears, and burdens onto him. And then the part about caring for us. He cares for you, the creator. He personally cares about your well-being and wants to carry your burdens. Who in your life really wants to carry your burdens? Who in your life will stand there and say, you got all this stuff going on? Man, I got you covered. I don't know too many people that would do that. Just being honest. Because we all got our own things that we got to carry. We all got our own issues. We all got our own problems. We got things we need to sort out. We got stuff that, we got to come to God with. There ain't too many people walking around here saying, oh, you got all these burdens? Just put it on my back. I got it. We physically can't do it. Even if we tried, we would burn out. We would fail. We would suffer. But we have this amazing, ultimate, loving, caring, and so righteous Father that no matter what we face, no matter what we go through, and no matter how small you think you are in this world, God still cares for you. Even when you feel like everybody's forgotten about you, he hasn't. Even when you feel like maybe he's not listening, he hears you. And even when you feel like he's not answering the prayers, he's answering them. He's just doing it in his time. Can you trust him? All these works that he's doing that for you. So why would you not come to him? Why would you not cast your anxiety? Because I don't want to carry it. I don't want to carry all these burdens. I'm thankful that I serve a God that will do it for me. Because he is the living word and he's living proof and he does it every single day. So how can you not be thankful for that? It's a journey unlike any other when you're going through these emotions, when you're panicking, and because panic makes you lose sight of the destination of the journey. I think panic is one of those things where it controls you in such a way that you lose sight of everything that you've worked for. Imagine building something that God has blessed you with, and then you let a distraction or something that is not of God take you away from it. And then you freak out because it's starting to look different now. And then you start to lose your way a little bit, and now all the chaos is happening. And now the thoughts are happening, and the what ifs are happening, and the anxiety comes in, and the worry comes in, and the doubt comes in, and the devil thought he had you because you spiraled. But then you step back and you say, you know what? On second thought, I have God. And I know that I can cast all my anxiety on him. And I know that if I'm doubting or if I fear or if there's something there that I'm dealing with, I can just give it to God. And then all I have to do is trust. And I have to be patient in the trust because it may not happen how I want it to happen. It may not happen when I want it to happen. But I know it's going to happen. And when God does it, who's going to stop him? So yeah, in the midst of feeling like you're about to panic, pause. And allow God to lead. And you'll find yourself moving in the right direction. I got 3 keys for you. 3 things that I think that will help you in the midst of panic. Key number 1, talk to God. God wants to hear from you. Tell him what you're going through. Tell him how you feel. Tell him what's in your mind. Because if it bothers you, it bothers him. Tell him what you're struggling with. Because if you're struggling, he can help alleviate that struggle. Tell him what your goals, what your dreams, what your aspirations are. Ask him, is this what I'm thinking? Does that align with you? And if it doesn't, help me to get in alignment so I can reach my assignment. Help me to understand what it is that I need to do in order to follow you. We got to talk to God, man. And sometimes I feel like I don't reach out enough. I know you're supposed to listen. I got that. But sometimes you got to tell God what's going on. It's like if I tell my players this, I tell students this, I can't help you if you don't tell me what you need help with. And God is not a pushy God. So he's not going to push himself. He's not going to force himself in. Open your heart and allow him in. So that way he can help you and he can push you to where you need to be. He can bless you in areas that you didn't think you could be blessed. He can turn your mistakes into beautiful lessons learned and turn those lessons into blessings. It's constant communication daily. Praying without ceasing, talking to God, thanking him for things, just being in awe and being in the presence of knowing that everything that you see, everything that you experience, everything that you're dealing with, God is there. God is seeing it, and he's seeing it from a view that you can't comprehend or understand. But trust that he knows the way. Talk to him. Talk to him. Let him know how you feel. Have that conversation with him. Watch your life change drastically. The second thing I'm going to tell you to do, some people like this, some people don't, but I'm going to say it anyway. Go to therapy. You hear me? Go to therapy. Contrary to popular belief, you can believe in God and go to therapy. Did you know that? That can happen. I trust that you'll pray to God and tell him how you feel, but he might want you to go and pursue and talk to someone who can help you understand these problems better. I went through it. It was one of the best things that ever happened to me. I was able to figure out my anxiety. I was able to figure out, what was causing the worry. I was able to, really dive deep into what the root cause was. And because of it, I feel like I've become a better person because now I have clarity. I have understanding. And I needed somebody from a different view to see what I couldn't see. And God put the right people in my life to show me what I couldn't see. But then he also equipped them with the tools to help me guide myself toward what I need to do to get better. And not only that, but it was Christian and it made me stronger. So this negative stigma of not being able to talk to somebody, this is why so many people are dying. This is why depression is real. This is why anxiety gets the best of us. This is why people decide to prematurely end their lives. It's a battle that goes uncovered and hidden unless you speak up and tell God what you need and then get the help that you need. Go to therapy. Trust me on this. It will help you. Because I don't know where I would be if I didn't talk out what was going on. I'd probably be confused, angry, still anxious, still worried. And yet God said, go talk to someone. One of the best things I've ever done in my life. The third thing I'm going to tell you to do, it's going to be a little challenging, but I trust you can do it. Okay? Stay calm and trust God. Now, before you jump through the screen and go, how can I stay calm and all this stuff's going on? Understand something. God has this peace that can come over your life. And when everybody is running around like crazy, you'll feel at home. One of the ways I experienced this, and I will never forget this, I was in college. We were trying to find this house party. And I just didn't know where we were going. So I'm turning into this driveway to back out. As I'm backing out, I can see this car speeding probably 60, 65 miles an hour down this road. And I mean, it's flying. I never panicked. It was almost as if God was in the car with me and he was just like, don't move. And I hear everybody else in the car like screaming and yelling and screaming and yelling. And I felt like had I like moved or something, the reaction would have been bad. We probably wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be talking to you today. Instead, as the lights were getting closer, I'm like thinking about it now. The only thing I could think of, I'm looking at this car coming my way. We're kind of stuck in fear and everybody's panicking. And the only thing that came to my mind, and it was clear as day, was this. he's not going to hit us. And he didn't. Veered right to the side. Took a deep breath. And I think like once I came to, I was like, whoa, wait, like what's happening, right? Of course, dude got mad. He might have been under the influence. He tried to follow us. We got away. It was a whole thing. But regardless, the thing I want to tell you is stay calm and trust God. In the craziest moments, trust God. In your happy moments, trust God. In moments where you're unsure, trust God. When you feel like the world is crashing all around you and you don't know what else to do, reach your hand out, stay calm, and trust that God's got it. God has a plan for you. God has something in store for you that is bigger, brighter, and the best blessing that you can't even fathom it. That's how amazing God is. Can you stay patient? Can you stay close? Can you trust God? Can you stay calm and trust God? Those are the keys. Stay calm. Trust God. He knows the plans. And you are a part of his plan. Don't ever forget that. All right, y'all. Kind of a quicker episode. I don't have much else. I didn't want to, panic attack thing was real and I didn't want to go too far in it because I still think about it. But at the same time, I got to stay calm and trust God, right? I'm going to take my own advice. But just remember this before I let you go. Man, God loves you so much. There's not a day that goes by where he doesn't think about you, where he's not watching over you, where he's not protecting you. Even when you feel like he's not, even when you feel like he's not present, even when you feel so far away, he's right there. If you feel like you've drifted, just turn around. Run back to him. If you feel like you can't hear him, reach out to him. If you feel like life is just at this point where it's just too much and you think that you would be better off not being here, I'm going to tell you that that's a lie. There's somebody that needs you. Everybody needs somebody. Some of us are counting on you. And when you come out of this season and you enter into the new season that God has for you, we're going to be able to be blessed by it because of how amazing it's going to be. We're going to be blessed because you were able to overcome what other people thought you couldn't do. And when they ask you, well, how'd you do it? How'd you stay so strong? You can tell them just how great your God is. It is a testimony that you will be able to share for the rest of your life. And it will save souls. It will bring people closer to God. It will allow us to rejoice and celebrate. It's amazing. Just stay calm and see yourself through it and trust that God's got you covered. So when you do get on the other side, you can recognize just what it is that God has in store for you. God loves you so much, and we need you here. So don't go nowhere. All right? All right. Thank you so much, as always, for joining us on the Overthinking Thoughts Pod. As always, I am rocking my brother's gear. You can find this and many other items that have this logo on it at theurbanroyalty.com. T-shirts, all the coolest stuff that's going to happen for the summer. Make sure you tap in, order something, tell them Ed sent you. As always, you can catch my podcast streaming. I'm over on Spotify at Overthinking Thoughts Pod. I'm on Apple Podcasts at Overthinking Thoughts Pod. And you can find me on YouTube at Overthinking Thoughts Pod. Please like and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. And, of course, as always, for the socials, you can find me over at Instagram on Overthinking Thoughts Pod. And you can find me on TikTok at Overthinking Thoughts Pod as well. To all of you who have followed and who have liked, shared, commented, thank you so, so much. It makes my day knowing that I can use the platform for good, spread God's word, and people are there to support it. Thank you so, so much. I pray you have an amazing week. Go out and do something that is spectacular. Trust God in everything that you do. Know that God loves you. Know that he will never leave you, and he will never forsake you. And, of course, as always, it's the Overthinking Thoughts Pod. I'm Ed. We out.